In this lecture, we will dive deep into the concept of an AMQP message, which is central to the functionality of RabbitMQ. Understanding what an AMQP message includes and how it works will help you leverage RabbitMQ effectively for building reliable messaging systems. An AMQP message is the fundamental unit of communication in an AMQP-based messaging system like RabbitMQ. It is a packet of information that is sent from a producer or the sender to a consumer or the receiver through the message broker, which is RabbitMQ in this case. AMQP messages are typically used for communication between distributed applications, decoupling producers and consumers. This helps ensure that the producer and consumer do not need to be aware of each other's internal implementation details. An AMQP message in RabbitMQ consists of two main parts. Message properties, which is the metadata about the message. And next is message body, the actual data that is transmitted. With that done, let's break down the structure of an AMQP message into its key components. First, we have message properties. Message properties are used to provide metadata about the message. These properties give the message context and allow both the producer and the consumer to manage and process it more effectively. Common message properties include delivery mode, which can be transient or persistent. Transient message is not persistent, and if the broker crashes, the message could be lost. However, persistent message is written to disk, ensuring that it survives broker restarts. Next, we have message ID, a unique identifier for the message. It can be used to track and correlate messages across systems. Next is timestamp, the time when the message was created or published. It helps track when the message was sent or to implement time-based logic. Priority is a value that determines the priority of the message. This can influence message routing and delivery order. Content type describes the format or encoding of the message body, for example, plain text or JSON format or XML. It helps consumers understand how to decode and process the message body. Content encoding indicates how the message body has been encoded, for example, gunzip or base64. It is used for compression or transformations on the message body. Correlation ID is a unique ID used to correlate requests and responses in request-response messaging patterns. For example, in RPC, remote procedure call, this is used to match a response with a request. Next, we have reply to. It is the queue to which a reply message should be sent. It is often used in request-response scenarios where the consumer sends the result back to the producer. And next is expiration, the time to live of the message, TTL. Once this time has passed, the message is discarded from the broker. And finally, we have user-defined headers, custom headers that can be added to the message. These are used for application-specific metadata that might be important for routing, filtering, or processing the message. Now, when breaking down the structure of the AMQP message, the next part is message body. The message body is the actual data or payload being sent through RabbitMQ. It can be in any form of data, typically encoded into a binary format. The body can contain text, for example, JSON, XML, or plain text. It can also contain binary data, for example, images or files. And it can also contain serialized objects, for example, Java objects, protobuf messages, Avro, etc. The content type and content encoding properties help the consumer understand how to decode or interpret the body of the message correctly. The message body can be empty as well, depending on the use case, but it is typically used to carry important data such as user data, which is information required for processing or decision making, for example, user profile or transaction details. Apart from user data, it can also carry event information. In event-driven architectures, the body might carry events such as a user login, an order placed, or a service status change. In RabbitMQ, when a producer sends a message, it publishes it to an exchange, which then routes the message to an appropriate queue. The message that the consumer receives from the queue contains all the metadata in the properties and the actual payload in the body. The combination of these components allows RabbitMQ to provide powerful features such as message routing. The routing keys, exchange types, and binding rules determine how the message is routed, but the message properties such as priority or correlation ID can influence this routing and message processing. Next powerful feature is message filtering. Message properties like headers or the routing key allow consumers to filter messages they are interested in, making it easy to implement selective message processing. Next, we have message acknowledgement. When a consumer processes a message, it sends an acknowledgement back to RabbitMQ. The message is removed from the queue only after this acknowledgement is received. If the consumer fails to process the message, RabbitMQ can re-queue it for later delivery. And finally, we have dead lettering. If a message cannot be processed, for example, it expires or the consumer fails, it can be sent to a dead letter queue where it can be logged, inspected, or retried. We are going to cover dead letter queue later on in our course. Now, how do message properties impact message delivery? The message properties play a crucial role in controlling how RabbitMQ handles the message. By setting the delivery mode to persistent, you ensure that the message survives even if RabbitMQ crashes, ensuring reliable message delivery. RabbitMQ allows prioritization of messages using the priority property. Higher priority messages can be delivered before lower priority ones, helping to ensure that critical messages are processed first. TTL, which stands for time to live, is the expiration property which allows you to set an expiration time for a message. If the message is not consumed within that time, it will be discarded, reducing the load on queues and ensuring timely processing. Correlation ID is essential for request response patterns in RabbitMQ. By correlating the request message with the response, the consumer can easily match the reply to the request, which is particularly useful for RPC, remote procedure call scenarios. When a message is consumed by a consumer, it often does the following. Process the message, which means the consumer reads the body of the message, processes it, for example, performing some business logic, and might generate a response or trigger further actions. The consumer can also acknowledge the message. After successful processing, the consumer sends an acknowledgement back to RabbitMQ, which removes the message from the queue. And if there is an issue with processing the message, the consumer can send a negative acknowledgement, which is shortened as NACK, N-A-C-K in RabbitMQ. So the consumer can send a negative acknowledgement, NACK, or it may not acknowledge the message, which may cause RabbitMQ to re-queue the message for retry or dead letter it based on the configured behavior in our app, in our RabbitMQ server. In conclusion, an AMQP message in RabbitMQ is much more than just data. It consists of a message body, the payload, and a set of properties, which is metadata, and they together allow RabbitMQ to route, store, prioritize, and deliver messages reliably across distributed systems. Understanding these components and their roles is critical to effectively using RabbitMQ in your application. Message properties help control how the message is handled by RabbitMQ. Message body is the actual content carrying the data being communicated. By leveraging message properties, RabbitMQ can provide features like routing, prioritization, message expiry, and guaranteed delivery, making it a powerful tool for building robust messaging systems.